the vibe around the team for these first 2 days of camp?
They've been really good. Good vibe, having some of the guys that haven't been around be back in the building. It's great to see Debo and Trent and Bosa. So that definitely pepped everybody up, had us in high spirits the first couple days. But just feel like things have been going well. I feel like we've been having some good, solid practices out there, getting better, and just I'd say vibes are high right now.
Have you been here the whole time?
I got here at the beginning of phase 3.
And just what's been the feeling, just how Trey Lance has carried himself, how has he kind of acted in this role that he's been elevated to?
Yeah, I can only say positive things. I feel like Trey has done a really good job in really taking on all the different parts of being the QB1. We feel like at least myself, I feel like I've seen improvement on the field as far as his performance. You've seen a lot of big plays out there. And as a leader, I just feel like he's stepped up. He's just a very natural leader, a guy that people gravitate towards, and it's all been good so far.
You're out there doing some special teams drills. Do you form any first impressions of Coach Snyder, the special teams coach?
Yeah, really good first impressions. I like his style. He's very upbeat, up-tempo, positive, and aggressive. And I think that's going to carry over to our special teams unit this year. I feel like we're going to be much more aggressive. We're going to be attacking more and really bringing it to teams as opposed to the other way around.
There's a young woman in Portugal who's been drawing Jimmy Garoppolo every day until he gets traded. I'm just wondering if you've seen that and what your thoughts are on.
No, I haven't seen that, but that's I don't know when she started, but she's gonna be drawing for a while. I feel like yeah, that's impressive.
All but one of the offensive position coaches is new this year. Has there been a kind of an overarching theme to what Kyle has looked for to, with these staff changes, and what have you noticed as far as how the workflow of the offensive meeting rooms and all that is going with that new staff?
Yeah, I was caught off guard a little bit my first day here and walking in. There's a lot of new faces, so it took a couple days to kind of get used to that. But as far as the workflow and just the language we speak and how we install everything, a lot of the guys were just in different positions here and kind of brought up. There's a few new faces with, Coach Lynn and Coach Greasy. But I feel like those guys have been in some sort of system similar to ours that it hasn't been too different. It really has been kind of, similar just because we're all kind of speaking the same language.
There's about half the starters aren't practicing. It just seems it's a different look on the practice field right now for good reason. So how do you guys kind of gauge what's taking place on the field in terms of, what your expectations will be once camp comes?
Yeah, it's kind of hard because, you don't know exactly if that's going to be the group that'll be out there on Sundays. But at the end of the day, you really do need, everybody on the roster by the end of the season usually makes some kind of appearance. So you like to see things still going well, even if it is the 2s or the 3s, and a lot of those guys are going to have a chance to make an impact at some point. But it is, it's kind of hard to set expectations right now just because we haven't seen, 2 fresh units on offense and defense of, really the ones.
Debo was getting pretty excited and encouraging after some of those big plays today. His demeanor in the locker room, on the field, is it the same as it was before? Do you see any difference?
His specifically?
Yeah.
Debo seems the same. Seems like the same guy. He's always been positive, always, hyping up his teammates, and that hasn't really changed.
Given your advancing age for an NFL player and the position you play, do you change how you train in the offseason?
You know what? Yes, it's changed every year. Even when I went from being 24 to 25 years old, it changed. So there's always little tweaks. But I would say the overarching program stays pretty similar, but there are, tweaks you make every year.
Is it like less, less stress on the body in some ways?
I would just say different stressors. I'm not putting 500 pounds on the squat bar anymore. I feel like I can get that work in different ways. I'm big into like plyometrics now, big into change of direction. I like to, in the off seasons, I like to be, I don't know what the correct word for it is, but multi-sported, I like to play a ton of different sports in the off season because I think there's different training in it. Like I love playing pickleball, tennis, golf, like all those kind of things. I do feel like there's a correlation there, tracking a ball at high speeds, change of direction, all those type of things. So I like to incorporate that in the off season as well.
In a similar vein, I mean, 6 Pro Bowls in 6 years, do you emphasize different areas of your game? Is there something that this version of you this season you'd like to see doing better than what you've done in the past?
Yeah, I think you always pick out something from the previous season that you would like to work on and get a little bit better at, and I think specifically for this season, it's really I want to have the same strength and explosion at the end of the season that I did at the beginning of the season. So if anything, it's just kind of extending my workouts right now and being able to lock in at the end of the workout and know, okay, this is like I'm in the fourth quarter of a game. There's going to be a time when this comes up in the season. Have the correct mindset and being able to execute at that time.
Did you kind of feel like maybe you wore down a little last year? Is that what?
You know what? It was a long season. That one game made a difference. Playing in the wild card game made a difference. So that's just something that now that I've experienced, I think it was 20 weeks straight. That's just something that I can have better preparation for next season.
How different is it for you to not have Bobby Turner around, and do you still keep in touch with him? Like, can he avoid like texting or whatever? How's that?
Yeah, we still text, and I miss my guy so much. I mean, that's the longest time I've ever had one position coach was for 5 years with Bobby T, and he's had a tremendous impact on my career and just me as a person. But Coach Lynn has been a great transition, and actually very similar to Bobby T. I mean, he was coached by Bobby T, so they have a lot of the same phrases, a lot of the same coaching points, but he brings his own flair to it. He's not an exact replica of Bobby T, but he has his own stuff too. So it's always good to have some new perspective as well.
That's good. There was David, was it you posted the video of you by the blocking sled?
Yeah, who was this? That was me. Yeah.
What was going on there? What was that about?
There's a drill that Coach Lynn was putting me through. It's really as simple as it looks. So we're just getting used to being in that blocking position. So he just had me hold a couple ISOs.
Were you thinking, like, when's this going to end?
He told me there were 2 45-second ISOs, so at least I knew when it was going to end. He counted out loud as he was circling me.
All right. Thank you guys.
Yep.
Samson, coming off last season, your first year at the Niners, what do you kind of zero in on, and how you can improve, and what's been your focus this offseason?
Just playing faster, getting off the rock quicker, being more decisive on plays, and just that's it.
Does that come with just knowledge of the defense or what you're being asked to do, or how do you?
Definitely. Knowledge is huge because I know that the better and the more comfortable I get with the play calling, the faster I'm gonna play on the field, and we're repping that in practice right now, so it feels pretty good.
Around I think it was week 14 in Cincinnati last year, your stats exploded past that point. Was that a product of you just getting comfortable with that knowledge that you're talking about?
Yeah, definitely. The more reps that you get, like the more comfortable that your body gets doing it, and at that time in the season, everything just kind of tightened up because we knew that we had to win every game just to keep going. So with that added pressure, I think it kind of like sharpened the skills of everybody. So it was good.
Did you talk any specifics about what clicked for you? Because it was a dramatic change last year. I mean, I know it's like easy just to look at sack totals, and I know there's more to it than that, but I think you had 1 sack in your first 12 games, and then you had at least a half a sack in 7 of your last 8. I just looked this up, so hope I'm impressing you with this knowledge. But I mean, it does seem dramatic. I mean, can you talk specifically about some of the things that
Just all the moves that I was trying to hit earlier in the year wasn't working, and I just kept at it, and I just ended up turning them into sacks. You know, I just had to keep going, keep believing, you know, and my effort was going to handle the rest of it.
Did you ever feel any pressure earlier in the season?
There's always pressure. That's just the name of the game. There's always going to be pressure, whatever you're doing in any position in this game. So you just got to be able to handle it. And I've been in here for, this is about to be my year 6, so I've gotten pretty comfortable with pressure.
Yes, and how beneficial is it to have Nick Bosa on the line with you, and how does he look different this year as opposed to last year?
Man, it's great. He's smooth, you know what I'm saying? He's good with his hands, good with his feet. All I know is slide the ball or slide all the calls to his way, so I get my one-on-ones and win.
What are your impressions been of Drake Jackson?
Damn. He's good. He's good. He's going to be a key factor in this defense. Because I've been seeing him run all the drills, and I'm just like, man, he's athletic, he's big, he's got young legs, so he's able to just keep going all day. And me seeing him doing that, I'm just like, oh yeah, I got somebody that could push me. So he's pushing me. He's going to push others as well. So that room in general is just like, it's so close knit, and we're able to push each other every day just to get better.
Is there one quality about him that stands out in particular?
One quality is he's a soap, or he's a sponge. Actually, I'm gonna say that, but he's a sponge. He's able to just click in and just listen to what others are saying, because in that room, people are selfless. So whenever we see something, anybody doing something wrong, we'll tell them, oh yeah, you might need to tweak it like this, because then maybe you can get off quicker. And everyone just kind of buys in, and he's one of those that, because he knows that it's his first year, so he's just kind of whatever people say, he's applying it to the field, and he's getting better and better every day.
Good. Cool. Thank you, Samson.
How you doing, Nick?
Good. How are you?
What was the focus of your time away here? What did you try to do, either technique-wise to hone or body-wise? What's kind of been the focus?
It was kind of just normal off-season training that I didn't really get to do last year as much. I was kind of working my way back to being healthy, and this year I was healthy from the start, so I took some time off and then just got after it. And up to this point, it's been mainly just focusing on getting my body where it needs to be to play a long season. And from here on out, I'll be implementing a lot more football-specific stuff.
You said at the end of last season you plan to come back in better shape. Do you feel like you've done that?
Most definitely, yeah.
Can you give us a maintenance report on how the knee's feeling, whether you got leaner, what's the body like?
I didn't do a DEXA yet, but I think I'm maybe the same weight, but I think, I don't know, I mean, I've been pretty strict on it for a couple of years now with the diet, but I don't know, it was just a better overall off season because it wasn't just, I was able to enjoy myself a little bit because I wasn't just grinding and then resting like I needed to for my knee. But now the knee's doing great. I'm able to just go about my life normally, which is nice.
Did you take any vacations, or were you just training in South Florida the whole time?
I did a few vacations in the beginning, and then I live in Fort Lauderdale, so I bought a boat. So that's been my extracurricular.
Where are you at? Kyle said the team and your representatives haven't started discussing a contract extension. Do you have a sense of when that might take place?
I do not, no.
Are you interested in when that might take place?
I'm sure I'll be notified.
Is that something you'd like to get done before this season?
I don't know. I've just been focusing on getting better. Let my agent worry about that.
Your impressions of Drake Jackson, and what kind of interactions have you had with him so far?
You said Drake?
Drake, yeah.
Just really nice kid. He's super talented. He does things out there that I definitely couldn't do as a rookie, just the way he moves. And he's definitely got some impressive stuff about him, but it's only been 2 days where I've seen him. Just great dude, though, just wants to learn, and just really appreciative to be here, and I'm glad we got him.
What is it about the way he moves that you couldn't do?
Just his bend and his mobility that young. I think his gymnastics background or whatever, he just could bend really well, and that's something I had to improve on as my career has gone on, as I've trained with my brother and our trainer. But yeah, he's just got it naturally. So if he could keep building and keep getting better, it'll be pretty scary.
Is there a comfort level having Kerry Hyder back in the group?
Yeah, it's good. Just so much depth this year with Teray and Charles and Kerry and Samson. I mean, Jordan will come back. We're going to have to use some extra roster spots on the D-line for sure.
Last year, the entirety of the group really hit its stride around that game in Cincinnati, where the stats and the sacks and everything blew up. I know there's new faces this year, slightly new collection of guys, but do you feel good about you guys being able to pick up where you left off as far as that cohesion goes?
Yeah, I think we'll be better for sure.
Do you follow the draft? I mean, are you watching in round 2 when your team takes a defensive end?
Yeah, I watched our first 2 picks. Yeah, I was confused. I thought we drafted an inside linebacker, and I was like, we got plenty of those. And then they started showing highlights, and I was like, all right, I see why we did that.
As linebacker.
Yeah, just said linebacker, and I hadn't heard of him yet, so it's pretty crazy that somebody that talented is still there at that point.
Anything else? All right, appreciate it, Nick. Thank you.
Make sure you subscribe.